Hiya and welcome to the Redmen TV. It is the Uncensored match build-up. Wolves v Liverpool, this time in the Premier League. On Friday, it'll be in the FA Cup. I'm in Wolves twice in 4 days. It's all a little bit mad. I'm delighted to say I'm joined by Ian and Lewis for this one as we build up to that game of football. As always, we're going to start with the Wolves perspective and then we'll move on to the most important part, which is the Liverpool side of it. But let's get straight into it then. Ian, if you'd have asked me, do you fancy playing Wolves away, maybe a month ago, I might have been more up for it than I am in this current moment. They're actually playing some decent football under Edwards. That doesn't mean we shouldn't beat them, but they have improved.
Yeah, but if you'd have asked me about us playing any team about a month ago, I wouldn't have been very confident in us either. But we've improved, maybe not the way we play, but our results have improved massively. I was just talking to Lewis off mic before we started about how we shouldn't be concerned really about a team whose leading scorer has got 2 goals and there's about 5 of them.
Yeah, they actually also don't have their striker anymore because he got off to Crystal Palace, Lewis. So they're already down there a little bit. But, you know, I still do think they have some decent players. Gomez in midfield, I really like him. So they do have some quality over the pitch. And, you know, it's very important that Liverpool don't underestimate Wolves because they've got nothing to lose. Yeah,
and we've seen in the past, the Hull, like 10 years ago, caused an issue. Sunderland have done it, Burnley have done it. So you can't underestimate these teams. And Wolves, for all that they are struggling, they're not going down. This isn't a Derby County situation. They're not resigned to just going down without a fight. They're actually putting effort in. And you touched on Gomez there, but there's also Mateus Mane is another one who's brilliant. You've got Bellegarde, who's been brilliant. Andre's coming into his own. So it is a team full of tricky players that can cause us headaches.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, Mane is so explosive and, he looks a young talent. And it's mad because Wolves have got nothing really against them. They're going to go down, so, you don't feel much for them. But, when you see some of the players, to think that, that Gomez, Andre, who was a Liverpool target at one time, Ian, and Mane, who's coming through, to see the likes of them going down, you do think they're players who are going to want to play back in the Premier League, who should get picked off in the summer. And that's even more upsetting for them because they're facing going down and then facing losing the best players. Yeah,
well, we've been linked with Mane, haven't we, the last couple of weeks, and I think he's potentially a very, very good player. And it might sound like I was underestimating him a couple of minutes ago, but one of the things that has hurt us this season is when we're up against pace, and he's got abundance of it, especially if he runs when we've got players running us through the middle. Our midfielders haven't coped with it very well at all this season, so that's one of the things that does concern me if he gets on the ball and decides to start running at us centrally.
Yeah. Speaking of Wolves then, they've somehow got 13 points on the board. Now, what I'm about to say is not going to sound great for them. They've lost 20 games of football. I think Liverpool haven't had a great season, but 20 games of football in the Premier League is quite mad. Haven't we only played 29 games? They've played 29. The teams above them have only played 28, which is also not good looking for them either. But, I mean, it's... As the fan base, we're obviously going to their ground. It's Liverpool, so you do expect their fan base to be up for it. But those fans who've had to sit through how many losses this season, it must be demoralising because even though they've got nothing to lose and it's Liverpool coming to town, so you might as well give everything you can to the players on the pitch to try and help them over the line. All it takes is for Liverpool to start the game well, and truthfully, they must think, okay, well, this game could be out of sight, out of mind inside the first half. So from their point of view, what do you expect their fans to be like? How do you reckon the atmosphere is going to impact Liverpool?
I think it will. And I think what you touched on there about, for them, it's, we've lost 20 matches this season. 20, again, just to emphasise, is mental. But
that's the amount of times we've won the Premier League. Well, not Premier League, but League.
The League tie, yeah. Well, put that into perspective. But I think it could sort of, it could be a more difficult task for us because when Wolves and teams of the sort of, we knew Wolves were going to struggle this season. They look forward in the calendar and they think, God, City are coming, Arsenal are coming, Liverpool are coming. This is where we're really going to struggle. So you might, to them fans, regardless of where they're in, they're thinking, right, this game's a bit of a write-off in a sense.
Yeah.
If we put in a good performance, brilliant. If we don't, what will we really expect? And like we saw against Arsenal earlier this season, they can turn up in these big matches. And I think for those fans who, you expect a win against a Burnley or a Nottingham Forest or a West Ham, when you play these teams competing for Champions League football, they don't expect a great deal, I imagine. So for them in this match, I imagine the atmosphere is going to be more volatile because it's what have we got to lose?
Yeah.
We're improved, but one of the things we're still doing though is giving big chances away.
Oh, yeah.
And that is something that they will, like, teams, whether we're Liverpool or not this season, you don't have to do a lot to score against Liverpool. Yeah. And that is something Wolves will cling on to before the game tomorrow.
Yeah, and you mentioned there that Arsenal game. It was only a couple of weeks ago that they had a midweek fixture against Arsenal. Arsenal to go, I think it was about 7 points clear. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong there, but I mean, that's just a number I've made up. But it was to go significantly clear of Manchester City. They were 2-0 up and they ended up dropping 2 points with a last-minute equaliser, and Wolves in the second half rose from the dead, basically, and went and got a massive point for them in terms of the team who they're up against. It won't mean anything in relegation survival, but moments like that give you a bit of hope and let you as a fan base cling on to things. And I think this is going to be a bit more difficult than a lot of people probably think it will be, Ian. And I mean, just look at the other day, they beat Aston Villa 2-0. Aston Villa, who are in third place and who at the moment, are kind of crumbling from the position where they've been in. They were dead set to finish top four, a month and a half ago, and now it's looking less likely that they're doing that. But they're still a really good side, cause a lot of teams trouble, and Wolves beat them 2-0.
Well, like you just said, you said they will go down. Maybe the pressure's off now because they've maybe accepted it. They just want to go out and play some football now. So you've got players in there that if they are that sure they're going down, are looking maybe to move on next year and go to better clubs. So they're going to have teams impressing each other, the likes of Andre Gomez, the likes of Mane. So they're looking to maybe move on to better things next season. So they're going to be out there trying to impress. Pressure is a horrible thing in football, and it can make you play within yourself. If the pressure's off now, that's probably why we're seeing the best of Wolves that we've seen all season.
Yeah, and Lewis, just on that, there's still a Premier League side and still a side that you've got to be aware of. Yeah,
100%. They're not, like I said, the bottom of the table, but they have still put in some decent performances. This isn't like Sheffield United of a few years ago when they just got spanked or something like that. Like, this always happens. There's always a team that you think you've not got a great side, but you've got players in that team that should be capable of keeping you up, and Wolves are just the latest tragedy of that. And at this point in the season, like you said before, we can't underestimate anyone. Like, no one at all we should be underestimating at this moment in time, because we've been caught out big by teams. Like, the teams that have been battling relegation so far this season, we drew twice to Leeds, we drew to Sunderland, we've lost to Forest, we scraped the win against Forest, we struggled against Wolves earlier in the season. So we can't go into this match with the expectation of easy win, we've got this. If anything, this is going to be one of the hardest fights of the season, because Wolves, like I said before, nothing to lose. They're going to be up for this. They just want to play some good football.
Can I ask, do you think playing them twice in 4 days changes absolutely anything? Because once again, for Liverpool, I mean, 5th round of the FA Cup, there's been quite a lot of games, and we've not done loads of rotating. We've not been allowed to at times with injuries. But also, I mean, the other day, you saw McAllister still play the likes of 90 minutes. So from their perspective, I mean, both games are vitally important to them in terms of probably less so the Premier League game, obviously, but like they'll want to show some fight and they'll be up for it because it's Liverpool. But then in the FA Cup, you expect them to put out, a really strong team. So like, does anything change tactically in these 2 games?
No, I think if anything's going to change, it may be, we spoke about before, didn't we? I think Liverpool might rotate slightly on the Friday. Slot doesn't like to rotate much at all, really, and he's not going to when the FA Cup is a big realistic chance for us to get a trophy this season. I think we may finally get a real start on Friday night, but I can't see any big changes for us tomorrow night. I think they might go Friday. Wolves, I just expect them injury permitting, to put the same team out both nights. Both nights, yeah.
Yeah. It is both night games.
Yeah,
yeah, 8 p.m. kickoffs. And also, look, 8 p.m.s do have under the lights at Anfield. How many times do I say that about Champions League games? So, it being a night game as well can cause, kind of an atmosphere for Wolves. And my main point for Liverpool is you can't be sloppy. At times we saw them be sloppy the other day. You can't be sloppy with this Wolves side, because if they put their chances away, Liverpool could be in danger of dropping points in this game of football.
Yeah, and the pressure that Wolves put on up top, particularly, like I said, with that front line they've got of Armstrong and Mane, they're very press heavy. And I think if you've got moments like we saw in that second half, in particular the other day with Kerkez and Konate and Alisson and Gravenberch all making individual errors, they're going to punish you for it.
Yeah.
And if we go into this game and would you say an error leads to a goal on their behalf, the atmosphere gets ramped up, it just gets harder and harder and harder. I think one of the two games will be very cagey, and I don't know which way it'll be, because I'm thinking for Wolves in the league, they're just thinking, right, we're going down anyway, there's an outside chance, but let's just play some exciting football. I think the FA Cup's their chance to really make something special happen this season, similar to Wigan did. And that might be the game where it's a bit more standoffish, a bit more set up tactically to defend, and that might be the one of the two which is a bit more relaxed. But as long as Liverpool don't do anything stupid, no individual errors, no sort of sloppiness at the back, we should be okay.
As long as Liverpool aren't Liverpool.
As long as Liverpool aren't Liverpool. Just, hey, winning streak.
4 in a row and all that. Anyway, that was all for the Wolves perspective. We will be right back after this little break for the Liverpool perspective.
Hey everyone, at the end of March we are going to be giving away this shirt. It is a Liverpool shirt signed by former Reds defender Daniel Agger. If you want to be in the prize draw to potentially win this prize, very, very simple. Head on over to the Redmen Plus app, download it from your app store. Sign up as a Legend tier subscriber, and at the end of March you will automatically be in the draw. One of our legends will win this shirt signed by Daniel Agger. Download the app, subscribe as a legend, get yourselves in a draw, and I could be shipping this shirt to you at the end of the month.
Welcome back. Yes, Daniel Agger signed shirt up for grabs there if you do download the app and sign up. By the way, just saying, Daniel Agger, I fell in love with him. Absolutely adored. There's many players, many people who think he just wasn't that good. These ears won't be listening to anything like that. I absolutely adore that,
I have
man.
that with Martin Skirtle,
Oh, do you?
I
Okay.
love Skirtle, man. I'm the same.
Okay.
I agree.
The lad who'd give away a penalty at every corner and set piece possible.
I'm just
now.
saying that Arsenal in the 5-1 in 2014. No, the header, the dipping header that he scores from outside the box is. I love that goal.
There was like a little section of about 12 months where the Chuck Norris jokes became Martin Skirtle jokes. Let's go back to that era.
I miss him so much. He got his head stapled on the side of the pitch and carried on.
Yeah, that's true. Is he featuring in the Legends game?
I don't actually know if he is, to be honest.
Well.
I think he might be, because they just keep announcing players. I'm
Well,
sure he might be one.
You can just go there and you'll get to see your love once again.
If I meet Skirtle, I'll be happy.
Yeah, but my version of that is Daniel Agger. I reckon it was just the tattoos of "You'll Never Walk Alone" on his knuckles. That
he's got some cool
really
tattoos like that.
But yeah, loved that lad. Anyway, let's move on to the Liverpool perspective then. And I think the best place for me to start right now is wow, it makes a major difference in games of football at this current moment in time when you're good at set pieces. I mean, Ian, it's a massive part of this football. And I can understand, I mean, I already knew why Slot was going on about it, because it was fair to say we weren't good at them and they were actually costing us a lot. But like, the fact that he just wouldn't be blamed for it, maybe I can see why, because we've got rid of Aaron Briggs, who wasn't a set-piece coach, but then got lobbed in to do it. And it feels like we've just said, lads, saw both edges, you just sort it out amongst yourselves. And Liverpool are getting themselves up in games through set-pieces. Yeah,
because sometimes you can overcomplicate things. Football is a very, very simple game.
Unless you have Guardiola.
Yeah. The one thing that you need when you've got corners is good delivery. And one of the things that's changed since January is our delivery from corners. Mo Salah, for all his criticisms he's had this season, he can whip in a corner. And when you've got Virgil van Dijk in there, You've got Canate in there. You've got McAllister, who's like 1 inch taller than me and gets his head on things. It makes a big difference. I mean, we might even have more goals if Ekatike didn't have a 50p head.
Yeah, it's also true.
But yeah, great service from the corners with players the size that we've got. We should be a lot better at set pieces, and we've got a lot better.
Yeah. Another thing that we've gotten better at is just making sure we're on the correct side of results and also performances. We've won 4 in a row after beating West Ham. I think there was a couple of, maybe the Forest game in there where people are like, like the same signs of being seen all season are still there. But Liverpool are improving and have improved. There is still a little bit of worry in me in games of football, but it's much better football that they're playing. They're in control of games a little bit better, and you need that if you're going to go to the likes of Wolves away and make sure you dominate the ball but take your chances and come away with the 3 points.
Yeah, and I said it on the final word, it's been very much 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Yeah.
Beat Qarabağ, beat Newcastle, lose to City. Smash Brighton, nice win at Sunderland, the struggle against Forest. It does feel as though there's been like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Now it does feel a bit as though the results-wise, though, there is a bit of an upswing. And as long as I want to see more of the way we played Brighton earlier this season, where it was just front foot straight away, same way we did against West Ham the other day. I want to see that aggressive mentality. I don't want to see us stand off and give Wolves too much compliment. I don't want to let them control the game or try and suss them out. Just get at them because they're there for the taking defensively. And I think that
Sorry, if you could Toppy TV there, they were just, having a chat, but it felt like they were literally next to me.
I feel his breath on me now. Just be good. Just be good. Just win.
I think Liverpool this season during 90 minutes have been patchy. To say the least. We've been playing good patches and bad patches. I think since January, where we're not performing, the difference is I think our 2 centre-backs have played a lot better. So we're not conceding as many goals. And I think in the parts of the game where we're playing better, we're creating more, so we're more dangerous.
Yeah. Ibu, since he's come back, has just been such a changed person in terms of the way he plays.
He has. And also, on top of that, you're given something to the crowd, which means, when you're at home or away, fans can get into the game a little bit more. I mean, Sunderland away, Sunderland was absolutely applauding the atmosphere from the Liverpool fans. Nottingham Forest, we sang the entire game, even though Liverpool were absolutely crap. But it was a case of, they were giving us in your head and loads of little crap things that I'd rather not mention. And at the end, Liverpool got to banter them back and give it all back as well. So it's been, as a fan, much more enjoyable to be inside the stadium. And even the other day when Liverpool were up 3-0 at half time. We were watching footy in the sun. It was quite, not hot, but, it was warm to us.
For Britain,
for Britain. It just, hopefully, this can continue, because I'm not going to lie, when I saw that UCL draw the other day, I wanted to smash my head into a wall, because what was that? How we ended up like that? How has everybody ended up on that side?
Arsenal got City's draw, didn't he?
Arsenal just working out perfectly.
But, Liverpool have to stay concentrated in the Premier League. They have to stay concentrated in the FA Cup, in which they both face West Ham, and then have a look on the Champions League, because the thing about being a big football club, Lewis, is even when you're not at your best, winning, the Premier League, having that consistency, these types of things, you have to pick up trophies along the way. And Liverpool have done that when they've either missed out on big prizes or when they've not been great. Yeah. And Manchester United, I don't like them, but they've also done it in their period where they've not been good since like 2012. They've still picked up trophies. So, Liverpool have to keep putting the foot on the gas for the rest of the season.
It's so important in transition seasons or struggling seasons that you win something or make a sustained push for something. 2012, when Roy Evans came in as well, in the like 95, we won the League Cup, the McManaman final. Souness won it in 90. Well, I wasn't alive. I think I'm a dork. Souness won it in 91, 92, the FA Cup. So, you know, it's important in those seasons that you do pick up something that gives the team a lift, gives the fans a lift.
Yeah.
No one remembers 04-05 for being a bad season and us finishing 5th. Everyone remembers the Champions League. It's important that you remember those moments and that you give the fans something to reward. Not the loyalty, because obviously we'll support the club forever, but in those seasons where it may have been a slog, it may have been a struggle, it's nice to know that we can still win something. And for Liverpool to continue this sort of progression back to the team that we know we are and the team that we're capable of being, we have to go far in cup competitions and prove that just because this one's struggling, you know, like 2019-20, we won the league. We crashed out of every cup competition, Handy, but no one cares. Yeah. If we go out in everything and we just end this season just about sort of scraping top 5, it will be viewed in a negative light. It's vital that we pick up big wins.
Look, when you get like, let's not hope that, you know, we don't beat Galatasaray or anything, but when you go to the Champions League early and your title charges over, there's nothing really to look forward to. Yeah. You know, a race for top 5 isn't exciting. It's not enjoyable stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's a slog. Because you know, you're doing this just in the hopes that you get Champions League football next season, which is very important for us. But in terms of like having something to look forward to and having something to go, trophy up for grabs there, like, you know, it's going to be a roller coaster of a journey, but hopefully we can get there and we can be along that ride. You know, when you're just going for top 5, it just isn't as fun.
If you ask any Wigan fan, you don't win the FA Cup that season, but you stay in the Premier League, none of them would take that option. They would rather get that trophy and have that enjoyment and that excitement and still go down. It's just, it means a lot to people.
Moments, it does. Right, let's get on to what Slot said in the press conference. I'm going to tell you, he didn't say much of anything aside from the fact that Florian Wirtz is probably going to be missing for the next 2 games, which I'm sorry, what happened to like a minor injury? Because like, this is now 2 weeks and about 3 to 4 games.
It just happened to somebody else last season. They just went out with a minor injury. We didn't see him for 3 months.
Was it Jones? He had the eye thing at one point, didn't he? Or that might have been 2 years ago. And he was like, it's nothing major. And then he was gone for months.
Yeah. So Florian Wirtz won't be available for the next 2 games, I don't think. He also turned around and said that he really, his footy heart doesn't enjoy the football that the Premier League is playing right now. And after watching Arsenal v Chelsea, I agree.
Yeah,
I can totally get it. In terms of team news then, obviously we saw Frimpong the other day, really enjoyed that. Joe Gomez got a good amount of minutes. So we're going to go through the LFC team that yous would put out. And I'm not even going to ask your goalkeeper because it's a silly question. Yeah. It's Alisson Becker. So we're going to start at right back then. We don't want to push Jeremy Frimpong. Mm-hmm. But if he could play 60, would you start him?
Yeah, only because I don't want to play Joe Gomez because he's just played on Saturday. And I don't want to see Dom anywhere near right back.
I didn't even mention Dom, but Dom or Kirk could do that as well.
So I'd go with Frimpong.
I think I'd do it the other way. I think I'd have Gomez start. Because Frimpong's only just come back. Gomez has had a couple of weeks to sort of integrate back in and he has been fit, so to speak. And I think against Wolves, you know, Frimpong's great when you want to sort of break teams down. If we're struggling later on to do that, that's when you can introduce Frimpong. Gomez at least is going to give you a bit of defensive stability to see the atmosphere die down, and then we can go from there, I think.
And then I assume
Frimpong a bit later on.
But also looking at that FA Cup game.
Yeah.
You know,
where they're more likely to be more open.
And also, Joe Gomez might end up a centre-half during that game.
Yeah, it's true.
No, I'm fine with that. I don't want to push Jeremy Frimpong because it's been absolutely annoying the life out of me how you see him in glimpses and you're like, wow, what a footballer he is. I can see why we've got him and what we missed during the first half of the season where, you know, he just wasn't very great, or the first third of the season. You know, you're seeing it now, but he just keeps picking up these same injuries. So I'd do the same. I'd be cautious, but I'd love to see more Jeremy Frimpong. Centre-backs then, He just don't change.
Yeah, there's no one there.
Your left backs, you've got Kirkes wasn't substituted the other day, which is the only reason why I think maybe Robertson. I mean, he could also give Robertson the FA Cup.
Yeah.
But every time I see Kirkes at about 80 minutes in, he's basically got his hands on his knees and can't breathe.
I was saying to Lewis before, I think Kirkes has been absolutely brilliant the last 10 or 15 games. Yeah. I just think the last couple of games, that rashness that was in his game at the start of the season seems to be creeping back in. Mm-hmm. I don't know whether that's because he's played so many games.
He has played so many games, but I was stunned at the fact that he wasn't taken off at some point just to put Andy Robertson on, because look, even though it was a bit of a mad, nervous game of football in the second half, Robertson could have maybe just calmed it all down. But I keep seeing Kirkes and I love the lad, absolutely adore him. He just loves playing for us. He's got so much quality, but he never gives up on absolutely anything. But I just thought for the sake of Liverpool, we'd make that substitution to help him out, because he does just look like we're running him into the ground, because he's so good that we're playing him game in, game out.
We keep, at the same time, we keep saying that about McAllister, and yet he keeps getting better and better in the past few games, so maybe there is something to it.
And Gravenberch is playing. He needs a rest at some point.
Yeah, definitely.
Did he come off at the weekend?
No, it was Gomez and Ekitike were the only two that went off.
I thought it was a third.
Did Nioni replace him? I might have missed that one.
Trey
Nioni came on, so he might have.
Yeah, it rings a bell. Okay, so we're going with Kirkes then?
Yeah, Robert.
I think
Robert
FA Cup.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, cool. Midfield then, we've just mentioned the fact that Machen has played 90 minutes. Mm-hmm. I mean, Dom is just Dom, so you just expect Dom to be able to play every game. You do have Curtis Jones, who Liverpool haven't used a lot.
I think it'll be the same three as Saturday, and then he'll go with Jones on Friday.
I think the same, but I think that the subs will be made much earlier. The midfield will change as
depends how the game's going.
Depends how the game's going, and I think Grav only missed. He came off in the 80th. I've just checked, 86th minute. It's 4 minutes. Do you know what I mean? So I think there'll be the same midfield three. Don't fix what isn't broken, but Jones will be introduced a lot earlier.
It was still 4 minutes though where Trey and Nioni could have scored, and I was absolutely devastated for him at the fact that he didn't put it in the back of the net, because what a moment that to be in for the kids. But anyway, we're going with Sobo, Grav and Maka.
Yeah, I think that makes the most sense.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I don't think there's going to be much change up top then either. Forwards, either of yous, go on.
Gakpo, Ekitike and Salah.
Yeah. I think Ngamo will start on Friday.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see that, by the way.
Yeah, 100%.
So excited.
By the way, I'd start him on the right as well.
Yeah, I was having this debate the other day. The thing with him, because he's so interchangeable and he will just sort of do what he wants, you can put him either side and it's nothing changes. So I think I'd agree with it, give Salah a rest.
Can I ask them for FA Cup, you going with Rio? Chiesa, I'm assuming, is going up top.
Yeah.
So who's playing out on the left?
They play Capo again.
Gakpo, carry on, lad.
Just keep going, mate. I don't see Gakpo.
But I also don't know who's playing at right wing.
Yeah, that's the problem. One position is going to stay the same. It's not going to be Ekitike, that's 100%. That'll be Chiesa.
I just think with Gakpo, at the end of games, even though he's coming off, he seems to be the less tired. He comes off and I think, listen, he might not have the best game. Yeah.
I didn't say that.
No, I'm joking. He does.
But yeah.
Because we sound so similar, yeah.
I think Gakpo will play both games.
I wouldn't be shocked if he did. I think with no Verts as well, your options are distinctly more limited.
Okay, fair enough. Look, I'm not bothered as long as Liverpool win the game of football, and as long as I get to see more of Rio. Come on, that's why I'm here. Anyway, I'm going to ask you for your score predictions for Tuesday, not for Friday, and your goal scorers. Before you do that, and also you get yours in the comments below, I'm going to go through the games for you whilst you have some time to think. Everton face Burnley at 7:30 tomorrow at home, which means they actually have a chance of losing that game of football, which is just absolute madness. Bournemouth face Brentford, which I actually think could be a really interesting game. Leeds v Sunderland. Okay. Obviously, Wolves v Liverpool are the 8:15 kick-off tomorrow. Then you've got Brighton v Arsenal. Brighton, please, come on, just do something for us. Give us, just make it more interesting. The title race is what I'm asking for. And also, I am going to be that person. It'd hurt me more if Arsenal won it than if City won it.
I don't care if City win it.
Exactly.
No one cares.
So, massive Seagulls fan on Wednesday. City face Forest, which that is not going to be an easy game. Fulham have West Ham. That is probably a game I will avoid at all costs. Villa face Chelsea at 7:30 on Wednesday. Newcastle v Man United is the 8:15 kickoff. Come on, Newcastle. Massive. I mean, who knew I would be a massive Anthony Gordon fan for one night and one night only.
When Chloe said she was a massive Seagulls fan, I've just got images of and then the crowd with that seagull.
Like you with the seagull mask
with the seagull mask on.
Oh, yeah. Seeing that. Yeah. I just really like Brighton because I went there on my birthday last season and it was the first game after Liverpool had wrapped up the league, I think. Yeah. So it was just an absolute party. It was when Trent came on and looked absolutely depressed as hell. I was just having a fun time in the crowd. And then to round it up, it is Spurs v Crystal Palace on Thursday. And you may think not watch that, but can I interest you in Spurs potentially going down? Because it really is quite close, to be perfect.
To be fair, if the teams weren't as bad down below last season as they were, they would have gone last season. If Man United could have gone last season.
If we think Arsenal fans are going to be insufferable winning the league, if Tottenham go down as well and they win the league, I will delete Twitter. I'm not handling that.
I wouldn't be great. But also, I don't care about Spurs. So it has no effect on me if they go down.
No, I don't.
Arsenal winning has an effect on me.
I think they deserve this season.
You know what I'd need? You kind of need an Arsenal draw or loss. A City win, sadly. Then West Ham to beat Fulham. And then Palace to beat Spurs, obviously, after Newcastle have beat United. Aston Villa and Chelsea, what the hell is the best for us there?
Probably Chelsea lose. Because I think Villa... Really? I think because Villa, of the two teams, Villa are the side at the moment that are starting to stagnate, whereas Chelsea are still picking up results.
Do I fancy a draw then? Could I be interested in a draw?
But I just think if I'd rather one team lose, it would be Chelsea.
Well, look, there's a lot on the line there for me to hope and pray for. None of it's probably going to come true. But, we can hope. Right, what are your score predictions? Who are your goal scorers?
I'm going to go 2-1 Liverpool.
Okay.
Ekatike. I'm going to go Chiesa off the bench.
Ooh. Oh, I like that. I like that quite a lot. 3-1. I think it's going to be Gakpo will get another, and then I think we're going to get a double from Ekatike.
Gakpo that does nothing.
No comment.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with a 3-1. I'm going to go with Ekatike. I'm going to go with a bit of Dom Szoboszlai and then reeling him out off the bench because I'm living in that way.
He's getting close.
You know what? Someone should go really far out and predict the Ekatike goal by a header.
It's just so out of this world at the minute.
Yeah. And also, to round this up with the last couple of minutes, I don't know whether you saw, but a little while ago, me and Lewis were on an Umbi, was it?
What was it? Yeah, we were on Umbi.
All three of us were on it as well.
Exactly.
We've brought it back for you. We're about to do an LFC quiz. What was A? I remember. How many goals has Mo Salah scored against City?
Oh God, what did we say? Was it 17 or something like that? Something daft.
I can't give you
I got it wrong.
Multiple choice.
I still rage about that Anelka one. I'm still fuming that I got that one wrong,
If you were to say how many goals though, have a little guess. I can't give you the answers because then the answers are obvious. I'll give you this. There's 4 answers: 8, 9, 13, 15.
13.
Wasn't it 15?
I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was 13. So the fact that you thought it was 15 makes me worry. But
why?
Someone will tell us.
Sure it was 13.
I'm not mastermind. I don't know what's.
You had the stat though, aren't you?
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. I suppose.
Anyway, let's play this game. It is 10 head-to-head questions. You can do it in the comments below. 1, 2, 3, all in one comment. I mean, I'd say don't cheat, but we can't tell if you do or not, so who's bothered? Who played more Liverpool games for Liverpool? Are we ready, guys? Lewis Garcia or Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain? This says number 2 out of 11. Okay, yeah, correct.
That's got to be...
I would have said Garcia, because Ox missed like a year with that injury, the Roma one. And then he was rotation.
But don't forget, he had a really bad injury at one point, Lewis Garcia as well, and wasn't the Ox there longer? I'd say...
Well, he joined in 2017 and he left in 2022, because he left at the same time as Firmino and Milner and all that. That's 5 years. He missed 1.
I'd go Lewis Garcia. Then
I think Garcia.
Okay. That was incorrect.
Oh, shit.
Ox finished with 146 games, which is 25 more than Garcia. By the way, can I just say that it was Lewis who actually asked to do a quiz as well. So
I never said that was good. That's just what I was just...
Right, who's played more, John Aldridge or Milan Baros?
Milan Baros, I would say. Because Aldridge was only there for 2 seasons.
I'll go with Ian on that one so you can take the brunt if it's wrong.
That was correct.
It was me.
Baros has 108 appearances for the club, Aldridge 104. Why didn't I know it was that little?
It's 108.
He was only there for a couple of seasons.
104.
Yeah, because he didn't want to get sold, did he?
He signed in 87 and he went in the start of 89-90.
There you go.
Kelleher or Stan Collymore?
Oh, because he was only there 2 seasons, Collymore, weren't he?
Yeah, I'd say Kelleher.
Oh, God, mate.
I love being the host.
The issue is I talk myself out of my answer. I'll say Kelleher, but because Collymore was undroppable at one point and him and Fowler were together loads, but Kelleher's covered a lot of injuries for Alisson and he's had all the cup competitions as well, so I'd say Kelleher.
3 more years.
Yeah.
Okay. Stan Collymore was the correct answer. It's 81 v 67 in favour of Collymore. Loris Karius or Takumi Minamino? Loris Karius had a season, did he not, where he was number 1?
I'd say Karius, yeah.
Minamino.
I think Minamino.
What a man.
I think Minamino personally.
I loved Minamino.
I like Minamino.
We need. I'm not picking because then it falls on me if I've got it wrong.
So I think Minamino personally. No, you can have Karius. I'm fine. I'm not. I've got the last 2 wrong. I think Minamino personally.
Minamino is the correct answer. He ended his career with 55 appearances. Karius had 49. Fabio Barini or Titi Camara?
That's a tough one, that, because Titi wasn't here very long.
He was there 18 months.
But Bellini was here like forever. We couldn't get rid of him.
But he's been on loan a few times.
I'd go with Titi.
I'd say Titi as well.
Okay. It was Fabio Barini. 38 games for Fabio Barini, 37 for...
Oh, okay. So, all right. I don't mind that one then.
Mario Balotelli or Danny Ings?
Oof.
Well, Ballo only had the 1 season. It felt like 20.
I'd go... Ings only played those.
He got injured in the first season for a year, and then he got injured again when Klopp came back. But
he enjoyed facing Everton. That's all.
He scored in the 1-1, didn't he?
Yeah. I think Balotelli probably played more.
I think Ings, but we'll go Balotelli.
Balotelli was correct.
Nice one.
He managed 28 games. Ings only 25. Luis Suarez or Peter Crouch?
Suarez was there for 3.5 seasons.
And he had two long suspensions, didn't he?
I think Suarez.
I think Suarez, because of how many games he played when he never got injured, didn't he? And Peter Crouch was in and out of the team.
Yeah.
You're not going to be too upset. Crouch played 134 times. Suarez played 133. So it was literally 1 game in it, but sadly you got it wrong.
Okay.
Xabi Alonso or Coutinho?
Coutinho, I think.
Coutinho, yeah.
That's incorrect. Xabi Alonso had 210 games. That was 9 more than Coutinho. I'm actually shocked by that one.
Yeah.
But I also was a kid for half of it.
Coutinho's back. That's
right, I'm sorry. Sadio Mane or Bob Paisley? I'm assuming that this is in charge of as well then. Who played more games as a Liverpool player? Surely, that's a trick question.
I'd say Mane, but I'm not. I'm all right with going back older. It's not as far back as Paisley though.
I honestly couldn't tell you. Genuinely could not tell you.
I'd go with
I'm not
Mane.
gonna lie.
Well, I mean, who do you want to go with?
For culture, we'll go Paisley.
Oh, okay.
Why not?
It was correct as well. I'm stunned. Paisley played 277 times, Mane 169, so it's actually
Well,
really, really
big,
close.
big dude.
Mate, I'm I'm an idiot, you know.
But you know
it's
what?
fine.
Like, I mean, can we add his managerial stuff onto that as well? And he'd be out of sight,
Be
out
out
of
of sight of
mind.
everyone. Yeah.
As well as also trophies collected along the way.
Yeah.
Andy Carroll or Pongo?
Sonama Pongo. Oh god.
Pongo was there for a while, wasn't he?
He was a rotation though, weren't he? Quite a lot of the time because he got put in when I think was it Owen got injured and we ended up with just him. Owen and Barros got injured and we ended up with just Pongo. And the other one was Andy Carroll. I would say Pongo.
I say Pongo would be close.
Was it Pongo? Yeah.
Pongo won. 66 v 58. By the way, I'm still stunned that Sadio Mane has not played 300 games for Liverpool.
He only played 100 and... How much did I say?
260.
Oh, you said 100. I was like,
269.
what? That can't be... Wow, okay.
But like, for some reason, I thought he played far more than that.
He was with us like 6 years.
He joined in like
2016.
yeah.
And he left in 2022
Yeah.
because he left before Nunez joined. So that's 6 years and he was constantly... He didn't really get injured.
That's what I mean.
Weird.
I mean, AFCON, I guess. But
Yeah.
for some reason, I thought he'd be close to 300, if not 300.
Yeah.
But anyway, you know, the great Bob Paisley played more games. Well done, guys. You only got 50% correct, but it's something to improve on. It's probably better than what you did the
Not
first.
good with appearances. That's hard, that.
Well, that was the
little
quickest
babby.
quiz I could find after you sat down and said you wanted one. So that's what I went with. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Hope you did enjoy that and have a lovely rest of your week. Let's hope Liverpool do beat Wolves tomorrow. We will be live on Redmen YouTube channel. What time will we be live? 7? 5 to 7. See, I wasn't too far off this one. I'll be hopefully inside the stadium, but we'll be live from 5 to 7 over here on the Redmen YouTube channel. And you can do the watch along with us. But until then, thank you so much for watching.